ask one more question?
Yeah.
So when I was trying to do this on my own, admittedly with no knowledge and no idea if I was doing this right, I ran into an issue where because some of the activities that I was calling were private instead of public, then that caused an issue. Will that be solved by pulling this logic out of the activity in general and putting it into the chat logic Java file instead? Or is there anything else special that I need to do?
So can you show me what you're trying to do?
Yeah, this was all, I don't think this was like accurate in the way you do testing in the first place. And if not, like feel free to just cut all this out. But I was trying to.
It is so not cut out.
So I was trying to essentially call in questions, right, from the actual.
I see. So basically, you are trying to create a chat activity. You're doing what I was doing, except without the refactoring.
Yeah, exactly.
But the problem is, can you run this? I don't even know what this does because now you're running the old thing, so shoot. You have to actually.
Can we run from here?
So yeah. So
no.
So if we scroll up, back to the name of the class. Yeah. So if you click on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, then you run everything inside this suite, so we don't have to.
So this one I wrote just to like make sure that I knew how to write a test, and obviously.
So you passed, yay!
Yeah.
Okay.
This one it continually throws a null pointer exception here, and I was trying to. I guess this is debugging of debugging, isn't it? Which is kind of funny. But I was trying to pull in this, and this seems to be what the problem is.
Right.
Because I'm not really getting the questions. But maybe that's because it couldn't access the JSON, because before we had it not in the test suite.
Yes. This is what I'm trying to get at, because you put this class in test instead of Android test, and so this is going to be run on the JVM. And so let me just show you how we can figure all this out. So we can use the debugger. So I put a breakpoint here. I know. I recently, I mean, like as of like maybe 3 years ago, I didn't use like a debugger. So what you think will happen is that when we run this test, it will first call the setup method and then go through all this logic so that the questions is initialized, and then come to here and then get it.
Correct.
But we're going to verify that. So now we're going to run this one method. Instead of run, we'll call debug. And because I put a debug, the red dot, a breakpoint, it will not actually run all the way through, but well, that's the theory. It will stop right there, but you know, we're on camera, which means it will not work.
Murphy's Law.
Haha! See, I tricked it. I tell it doesn't work, and it works. All right. So now what we are going to do, so it stopped at this line. Right now is null, the activity. So I can go to the next line, and then it will try to read this input stream, and then it. Basically, I think what happened is you got into the exception case. So then you can kind of debug some more, like why is it going to the exception? But that's what happened. But I explained to you already, right? Because you are doing something that's specific to Android, and the reason why it even compiles is because the way Android Studio set it up for you is like it gives you a lot of these stops that doesn't do anything. So it compiles, but this right now is generating some error somewhere, and so it just go all the way through, and then that means that questions, it remains null.
That makes sense, probably because this can't be accessed, because we're in the test suite as opposed to
I am actually imagining that the open function actually doesn't do anything. It just throws an exception. You know what? We can try. Why don't we jump in and see? Can you just, I'm going to just look at the code.
Sure.
Jump in. Okay. Oh, it's actually real code. But look, I think you are right. So like now we can see that it's trying to do all this thing, but if there's some problem, then it will just be like, I can't find the file. So it couldn't find a file. But whatever reason it is, that's why the thing was not working. So yeah, so you have two choices. If you want to test the activity, you basically cannot test just the method like that. You have to actually launch it and then look at the UI, you cannot examine the logic. Which is why, I mean, that's the life of an Android developer. Testing is complicated because you have to have a very crystal clear idea in your head, like which component can be Java only, and then you can run tests like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's good. Like, it's good. Initially, when you told me what you were trying to do, like in over email, I'm like, what you trying to do? And now I can see, yeah, it looks good, right? Because it compiles, but
right. So this sort of speaks to that sort of a bigger picture fundamental that I was missing here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I can also show you how to do espresso test at some point, but it probably will be. I think if you can actually pull out the logic into chat logic and then test the whole sequencing of, if I answer no here, then the final URL will have this parameter, and if I answer like an empty string as the name of the position, like what will happen. So I think you already have a lot to test, like using that method of what we went through, extracting a method and then making sure that your app still does what it, So there are two steps, right? Like that's refactoring. Like you need to make sure your app is actually still doing what you expect it to do, and then you can add a test method to programmatically verify that. So the next time you don't necessarily need to go click and type like by hand. You can just add a new test case and say, all right, I'm going to pass it a Chinese question and see if it will just barf. Maybe it likes Chinese, maybe it doesn't like Chinese. But of course, at that point, your app can still fail because the UI part does not like Chinese, right? So you're separating the testing part of the logic and the UI.
Okay.
So usually what I do is like I will take the logic out like that and I write extensive tests of all kinds of weird cases, and I'll still write one espresso UI test to go through like one particular scenario, just at like a gut check, so that I know that you can exercise the UI in one particular way. Because if you want to exercise the UI in 36 different ways, and each of them takes half a minute to run, then you're sitting around for 18 minutes waiting for it to finish.
Right.
Which is not the end of the world, but it still takes you 18 minutes. Versus if you write the 36 cases in the JUnit way and each of them take 10 milliseconds. It's not even, it's a blink of an eye, everything is run already. Then you will actually run the test. Because if the test takes forever, then we won't run it. I mean, we are only human, so.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it sounds like all we need for right now is the logic anyway. And, if we win the final round of this hackathon, maybe we can go back and
we'll have, exactly.
For now, this will get us through to the finalist round, I think.
Yay, cool. All right. I hope that was useful. I hope you will actually write some tests, because I really enjoy having the test be my confidence.
Right.
Like that, I know that it's doing the right thing.
But you usually write tests after you write code. You're not a test-driven development.
So the way imagine if I'm writing this test not in a hackathon.
Yeah.
What I would do is I will set this up from the beginning that has this chat logic and then the activity. I will actually write the chat logic part and then write the test and then use it in the activity. So the purist of TDD will write the test part first. Like it will write the code, it doesn't even compile. I don't get it. But it doesn't compile. So I will write the method first.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll write the get question. Exactly what I did, right? I write the get question method first.
Right.
And then I write the test for the get question method. Not I write the test for the get question method and it's like, oh, it doesn't compile. Which I do a little bit of that. I will then auto-generate the part that I need.
Right.
So I do that for writing the code, but not from the test part. So it's kind of like splitting hair at this point, whether it's test-driven. The purest of the pure test-driven development, like basically, is you have to write a test first. You cannot write, the actual class method first, which is like, you don't need to be that pure to get advantage.
Okay, that's perfect. And I think this will be a good excuse to clean up our code, which is messy in general, and bring some more logic out of those activities. And then we can write tests as we go. So,
yay, cool.
Thank you.
All right. Well, good luck. I hope you win.
Thank you.
Yay.
I hope we win too.
All right then. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Well, actually, before we I buy too early. I usually ask people for their Twitter handle so that, people can, when you win or not win, you can post on Twitter and let people know. So, pretend that we didn't buy. So if people want to follow you on Twitter, where can they find you?
My personal Twitter handle is at Kate_Catlin, Catlin.
We'll put it on like a little overlay so people can see it.
Perfect.
Great, cool. Okay, now we can actually say bye to our lovely audience. Bye.